Alright, it's Sika Last of the Sea. Here to talk about how much populations in the Hispanic Latinos populations there were here in Napa for a long time. During the 1940s, they used to be like 500, you know. Nothing has been a better fighter when we have like this before for a long time. Before the Perez program and then the Perez and Chavez shit, you know, it's something that's been had to bleed up, you know, for the whole time. The whole time is running, you know, because back in those days, my dad's relatives, they're first people in the 40s in Napa because there's everyone in the conclusions. They're part of the family that were just where they were, you know. That's where everybody was made in here in Napa because we're original, you know. Not those other kinds like that we saw on somewhere like at a Home Depot that we just saw like different people that were in the different units, you know. It's tough that we don't have the different units because we're lost families in Napa. But it's been a long time coming when we don't have that much of those good Cisneros families for populations for a long time. You know, it's a long time because that was so late, like 1942, since the population was a little least at this point when we come to Napa. Nothing is a good measure, you know, nothing. Because my dad's relative sides are big blood, and my ancestors they're from Canada, and Canada ancestors, Spaniards. Plus, there's some more that we have to tell about what the information, you know. And besides, we have Mexico City, but between Toronto, Mexico City, Napa, Los Angeles, or Georgia, Alabama. Well, I know there's some like people that ever been there. They're still current today. However, every people was the same, and every people were just being funny. You know, I'm glad that we have the sense of humor families. That's good, but the thing is, there's no such thing whoever disadvantaged like the realest families that who have been in a part of in the past. You know what I mean? Because we've been running in the past for like when we have 1,000 people in the 50s, and the 1960s was 2,000. You know what I mean? We're in the small counts family because we get to know about the Quintana Juarez families, and then plus the Matura families, you know, like George or any type of family who has been there maybe before. Just Matura, he's still there. He lives in Napa. And he's the guy, he was responsible about the grateful people that he has been done for us, you know, because we're big. You know, I've been part of this thingy before I'll become as a rapper, before I just become everyone else, and my family side there just grew up as like construction sites and all that shit, you know. It's a lot of detail. You know what I mean? You know, we've been pured out because we've never been rich too much, you know. We're trying to have to figure out where I can find a job, like something bigger, you know. This is what happens. We're part of the sense of humor families, you know what I mean? And you know it. You know, 70s is really hard, and in the 80s, they've been double up since they grew up 5,000, 8,000. You know, 70s are bad, but honestly, it's a little leap when most of the Chavez families, Calderones families, and different people from who are Mexicans, or different Hispanics, or different Salvadorians, or South Americans, or North Americans, or double up in Napa because there's some different significant people that are just coming in a much amount in Napa. They have some different relatives, whoever I want to come. Especially like San Jose Indians and relatives. They're also Latino too, you know? You should get to know him because this is how much blood that he can just come from his own sides too. Because if we have the Luciano or Kid Fashion too, we're in the bigger blood in the Hispanic Latino terms. You know what I mean? Because this is what the responsible how we were supposed to act like better rappers, you know? And we know there is a lot of the details that were in the chemistry and the DNA. Who was more responsible how we supposed to show the actor that we have it today. In the 90s, between 1994 to the present, we gave back to Napa to come back to the conservative shit to run the city of Napa, like for me and my family and the others, to come back where it was, because there are some people they didn't change lives for a long time, and no Cisneros family has been running the family for like 1942 to 67. Crazy. I never seen like other hoods. They've been passed down the generations from time to time. You know, Napa Valley Venture gang shit is pretty much cursed. And pretty worse. Because nobody in the baddest family or any Cisneros family who never bangs a hood. It's crazy. You know? Whoever people was dealing off with all those bullshit drugs and alcohol and all those crazy shit that was been going on. It's been low timers, but all we know, there's a lot of people who are coming through, like most of the time. 2000s are like 15,000. That's populated better, you know, because there's enough room for the housings and enough room for every people that are just coming out like permanently. But it look grateful when they come out like double up in Napa, like a little bit less more. But Napa is a white city, but to be honest, because it's more likely a natural neighborhood for all those great communications that come out there for winery and the great workers. They can help them more than Chinese and Italians, but they're great leaders, you know, like for a very long time, and so does the immigrants too from Europe. You know what I mean? They've been running since like Napa started, you know, and then after that, we're Mexicans, you know. We have the jobs, you know, like since 1940s to the present. You know what I mean? It's tough that we don't have delicate jobs and houses because it's important what the Cisneros family needs to do. Since 1942 to 67, it was heavily populated. Before 1994 and to those presidents there, they catch up with some new pride. You know what I mean? But if you guys don't care about what we have in a good family from today, go ahead, brag about it. Because the culture isn't going to stop until in the next few years. Because we're going to get some new cousins in here around to Napa and others. But fortunately, 2010s is all like 28,923. That population is double other the most. It wasn't that bad as before because there have some new populations that were going to gain up pretty better. And then in the pandemic, you know, a lot of whites have been dying from COVID that much. However, we're pretty close to double up to the population to the Napa County area, but not yet. But pretty soon, it was around like 35,000, but that wasn't bad. But whites is a little bit populated as well. It wasn't bad before. Well, guess that's about it. So, well, you get to know all the first families of Napa. Well, if you don't understand, just check out all my histories and see what are going on. You know, I know my mom's sides are like Japanese, German, African, French. Because I'm black. However, but there'll be enough from the good private, whatever the color that you have. But it doesn't matter what, any type of blood you got. You know what I mean? So, all it is gonna be a good strategy that we need to be pride and be selfish to become the better person. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as like every Cisneros family has like bad habits. There's no such thing, because we're in a good mood for years, and there's no way what the past is going through. Since a few of our families they put it in the right thing. That's why we'll reach out for people, not just like disrespecting people, like taking on unpredictable behaviors. I'm not like that. But the gangsters they're leaning me in for no reason. So that's why we just have to get out in the mood for the people, and that's it. And the reason why I don't trust these people like that, because 1968 to 1983, Nelson's family allowed disrespectful by the king, disrespectful for anybody else in the Norteño side, disrespectful. You know, that is why we need to entrust the units in the city of Napa to have no Norteños allowed. Whoever starts the hood is going to have to clean this mess up in the city of Napa. And that includes Sammy. Sammy Ayala has to go. And this nigga has to go. And whatever this belongs in this hood, we'll make it an adjustment. We'll make this plan up. Because we in the Hispanics and Latinos we're giving a lot of hopes and prides, but there's no such thing as a we team. We're in the grateful team from today in this population, because we're double up by everybody else, and then people like El Salvadorians and everybody else from people in Napa, and like wherever what Latino and Hispanics are what we have, and that's it. And that's how much smart that you have to get it together. And that's it. Alright. And that's all for today. For Zigalazadisi, keep it icy, keep it real. And thank you for watching in this video. If you don't understand it, just look it up on the information about Hispanics, Latinos, and Napa for populations and demographics. Look it up if you can. And plus, subscribe me if you can. Odyssey.